We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180. Our guest in studio is Melanie Kirkland to talk about the King's Academic Bootcamp and the King's College of Nursing.
You know, I wanted to just touch for a second on the nursing school you're going to be opening. And you'd mentioned when we were off the air that there's over 1,000 people praying for the college, which I think is great. And hopefully we'll pick up another 1,000 after today. But you also have 5 board of directors, and they're all from different backgrounds, and most of them are well known in the community. Rudy Fernandez, who's in education.
Right.
Tom Watkins, it was in marketing with Bakersfield Family Medical Center before he retired.
Yes.
Dean Haddock is, I would say, wellness and health. He's a psychologist, if I understand.
Yes, he is.
Kelly Blanton, the former superintendent of schools, who's in education.
Right.
And Mark Abernathy, who's political.
Right.
So you've got a great board.
We do. We have a fabulous board. And not only are some of these gentlemen in healthcare, some are in education, and we have some from the business background. So that gives us a really strong foundation in a board. They see things from all 3 perspectives.
And they're all strong Christian men.
All strong Christian men.
That's wonderful.
That's really the most important aspect.
Yeah, definitely that's going to be your philosophy. So tell us about the academic boot camp that's opening up the end of March.
Well, the academic boot camp grew out of really our ministry heart to when we began building the college, we were talking with people in the community, and there are so many people in the community that feel unprepared to attend college. If they were to go up to Bakersfield College and take remedial courses, it takes sometimes up to 2 years just to get through the remedial coursework for them to be able to start transferable level courses. So what we did is we built, with the help of our administrator for the boot camp, Julie Tonneslin, we built a program that can take them from that all the way through that remedial coursework in 15 weeks. It is a full-time, really intense boot camp, but 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. with an optional 2-hour tutoring from 3 to 5. So no student is going to be left behind. We're really excited about this program.
Melanie, that's great. When you sent me the information, excuse me, the other day, there was a quote in here from the Secretary of Education's Commission on the Future of Higher Education. The quote was, remediation rates in colleges have been estimated to be more than 60% at 2-year colleges and 40% at 4-year institutions nationally.
Right.
That's incredible.
That's incredible. And in Kern County, we're being told from counselors in the community colleges that it's a higher rate here in Kern County. We've heard 60, 70, and 80%.
It's incredible. When I read this, I was reminded of, I used to have an office in Los Angeles years ago, and I remember hiring a young lady who had 2 degrees, one in English literature, and I can't remember what the second was, and she could not spell. It was absolutely incredible.
That's tragic.
Ultimately, I had to let her go, and I asked her, I said, how did you manage to get 2 bachelor's degrees and not be able to spell? I mean, it was atrocious. She said they just kept on passing me on.
Wow.
No child left behind.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, the concept of having this kind of boot camp is great. What a great idea.
Well, and the aspect of this that really excites me is the fact that we're working to instill or reinstill that love of learning into these students.
Yes.
So can you imagine those stay-at-home moms who maybe have been displaced or their kids have gone back to school and now they're thinking, well, you know, I really want to be helpful to my family. I want to be able to get a job, but I don't want to work for minimum wage. I want to get a really good job, so I really need to go back to school. Then go and take an assessment at Bakersfield College, find out that you need 18 months to 2 years worth of remedial coursework because you've been out of school for 10 years. This gives them the opportunity to do that in 15 weeks. It's really exciting to me.
So this is designed for the student who wants to go to college who's already graduated from high school.
Correct.
Not for the student that's in high school that's thinking about quitting high school.
Correct.
Which is a disaster.
That is a disaster.
And that's one of the problems with Kern County. I think we have the highest rate of people dropping out of high school.
It's so sad. It is sad. But you know, there are those who maybe dropped out 10 years ago, went to work in the oil fields, let's say, and then lost their job. And now they're saying, now what do? I can't even get any kind of a job. So those unemployment numbers that you were talking about and the out of work numbers that you were talking about in your skit. Those people could come back. They could come to that boot camp and get prepared then to enter a community college.
Our in-studio guest is Melanie Kirkland from King's College of Nursing and the King's Academic Bootcamp.
So what is the cost? Well, before you go into cost, how do people get in touch with you to find out about enrolling in the boot camp?
Well, our phone number is area code 661-377-0408. That's the phone number for King's College of Nursing. And you can certainly get a hold of us through that. But the Academic Bootcamp has its own separate number, and that is 326-1124. So that's that you would actually be able to talk with the administrator of King's Academic Bootcamp. Her name is Julie. And you also can find out about us on the web. We have a Facebook. Both the boot camp and the nursing college have Facebook accounts, so you can find us on Facebook. And you can find us at www.kingscollegeofnursing.org.
Which is a great website. So that number again for Julie is 326-1124 if you want to find out more about the Academic Bootcamp.
Correct.
And the boot camp's open today.
It will be open. Our pilot project is starting at the end of March.
And is there a charge for the boot camp?
There is a charge for the boot camp. Nothing in this. If you're not federally funded, then it can't be free. But it's essentially going to be $2,200 for the 15-week program. But for our pilot project, we have one very generous businessman who has agreed to underwrite 66% of a student's tuition, essentially a scholarship.
Well, that's
Wow.
great.
If the students would like to get involved in this first pilot project.
That's anonymous, right?
Yes.
Well, $2,200 for 15 weeks is a fantastic premium even at that.
Right.
I mean, that's a great...
It's great if you've got it. If you don't have it, it's a problem.
Well, that's true, but I mean, in this day of an age, I mean, I remember when I went back to get my master's about 6 years ago, and it was $1,500 a class. I mean,
Correct.
it was not cheap. So
Correct.
$2,200 for 15 weeks of full-time school, this kind of schooling is really not a bad price in today's market.
But
Right.
this is the time to do it. They've got a scholarship possibility right now,
Yes.
so people need to move quickly.
Yeah,
Right.
you
And
bet.
we have 15 spots. We really would like to keep that pilot project down to 15. We have the capability of bumping that up to 25, but we really would like to keep those classes small. So it is a first come, first served basis.
So call 326-1124 and speak with Julie.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Get in on it now if you need to get that remedial training.
You
Right.
bet. A couple questions about the curriculum.
Okay.
You cover math, writing, English, and I noticed in the work, in the information you sent me, you use the Institute for Excellence in Writing.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know what? That is a program that actually started from a college professor who recognized that his students could not write. And he was, I believe, a history professor. Found his students couldn't write, so he designed this program that would help them bring their writing skills up to collegiate level. It became a really popular program because in the homeschool community, oddly enough, the homeschool community said, wow, this is a great curriculum to use for our children to get them up and ready for writing. But now it's morphed back into the academic world, and all of these programs, colleges and junior colleges, are starting to use this. It's a program that can make a student realize from right off the bat that they have the keys, the tools needed to write well.
And there's also a fast-track math class as well.
Yes, and that is starting. That was built by a coach who needed to get his players up and ready for math, and so that is starting at the very basic level, bringing them all the way up through geometry, algebra.
A quick question. Where are your teachers coming from?
You know what? Our teachers are coming from the community, and we're actively seeking instructors right now. So if you know of anyone or anyone in your radio audience has the ability to teach any of these courses, we would love to talk with them.
326-1124.
Or 327-0408. And actually, I applied yesterday.
Oh, and that phone number for the college, the nursing college, is 377-0408.
377-0408. Great. Melanie, thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. It was a blessing to talk with you, gentlemen.
And we will have you back shortly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Starts. We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk 1180.